Do I know you?
It's Velma from school. You cheat off me in Spanish because you think I'm Mexican.
Maybe. I have a disease where I can't recognize people who aren't hot.
Welcome back, guys. It's me, your bestie. So, I watched Velma Season 2. You guys remember Velma, right? The hit series from 2023 that reinvented Scooby-Doo in a refreshing way. Who am I kidding? This intro is gonna kill the video. Velma sucked. Please keep watching. I really don't know what to think of Season 2. It's a confusing piece of media. Spoilers, it still sucks. But I am having trouble forming opinions outside of what others have said from Season 1. But you know, I didn't put myself through this show to not make a video on it. So I guess I'm gonna find something to say about it. I guess let's start at the beginning. Season 1. This is probably going to take up a majority of the video. I think everyone knows the problems at this point, but one thing I've wanted to point out for a while is that they dedicate a scene to an endearing relationship or a mystery that actually seemed intriguing. But then, for shock value, the next time we check in on this relationship or mystery, they rip the rug out from under it for some cheap twist. Such as Velma and her mother. We learn her mother is missing, and Velma has all these good memories she had with her mother, such as helping her write or stopping her from smoking, and that these memories with her are what inspired her to start mystery solving. So I kinda thought to myself, oh yeah, maybe Velma wasn't always that awful, and that's kind of the point of the show. Well, silly me, why have hope in anything? Later it's revealed Velma was just remembering wrong, and she's actually the spawn of Satan, getting into her mother's drinks, ruining all her books. People think she actually tried to get away from Velma, which is a stupid twist and a giant kick in the face. I mean, why give us those endearing scenes in the first place if you're just gonna ruin it? I mean, I get in context it's supposed to give Velma doubts in herself or something, but it's not really written well, especially since Velma ends up finding her mother's van with a present for her inside. So now Velma wants to try and find her again, but after I saw all those scenes of Velma being the worst daughter ever, I just don't care anymore. There was also the mystery of the killer who was stealing people's brains, and I thought it was an obvious twist that Velma's mother was still alive and was the killer, so I stuck with the show so that I could see that play out. I discover I'm right. I feel vindicated. But then she starts acting weird and it's revealed she's hypnotized, which they start building to that the villain was Fred's father who hypnotized her, which I've guessed they've ruined the only part of the show I found intriguing, but it's not like they can make it much worse. Oh great, it gets worse. So all season there's been this theme that Fred's a little baby man who can't take care of himself.
Cutties. Mother, cutties.
Turns out Fred's mother was the serial killer and wanted to swap his brain with a popular girl so that he could be popular and, competent. How do you fumble the bag so hard? I get people do twist villains a lot, but this is just awful. I mean, everyone told me how bad the show was and I kept thinking I'd seen the worst of it. I stuck around because there were two parts I found interesting and somehow they both got ruined. It just pissed me off so much. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents on Season 1. There's all the stuff everyone else has pointed out, like the terrible interpretations of the characters, meta jokes, and a seeming disdain for the Scooby franchise, and other problems like that.
Ah, crap, I'm all syrupy. Bathies!
I'm honestly surprised how bad a show could get. I've seen all of Harley Quinn, and I don't think Harley Quinn Season 4 was even this bad. Well, maybe they're tied, but for different reasons. Early Harley Quinn was peak, but that's a story for another video. So yeah, Velma Season 1 was slop, and anytime they did have a hook, they destroyed it for a cheap twist. It's really depressing. This is quite literally self-sabotage. Yeah, the other content in the show sucked, so it's not like even if they avoided these cheap twists, the show would be saved. It's just weird. Although considering how unfunny and random the comedy is, it does seem they're taking the subversion of one's expectations and running with it. I haven't had this argument with Velma because nobody will defend it, but when I point out similar problems with other adult animations, such as a cheap twist or bad comedy, I've been hit with arguments like, it's what the writers wanted, so you can't argue with it. I mean, yeah, I guess someone behind it wanted it, and I guess good for them. But you can't hold a shield up to a project and act like any critique is illegal. Mini rant over. One upside to Velma is a majority of the time the animation and its style actually look pretty nice, although even that has its moments where it looks really cheap. I mean, at least it does look good most of the time, especially for the Velma hallucination scenes. They're crazy good looking, and it even got better for season 2. Despite this tiny plus, I can't say much nice about the show. I think you've heard enough about Velma season 1. It was trash. I don't recommend it, especially if you're like me and easily get addicted to shows even when you know they're bad.
Tell your mom I'm getting in the car you sent right now. What do you mean you didn't send a car? Oh, God! Ugh. Fine, you sent a limo. Yes, I know the difference, you asshole.
Now, season 2 of Velma. It certainly exists. It feels less offensive to Scooby-Doo fans, and is less aggressive with its toxic characters and meta jokes. I mean, it's all still there, but it's toned down a lot, which leads to them needing to rely on the other witty humour the show is known for, pointing out sex and drugs and then lingering for a couple of seconds to give the audience time to laugh, even though they're not going to. Or they just have characters acting stupid for no reason. It's really not great. Hallucinations are back. This time it's Norville getting the sequences. Once again, they are cool looking, especially when they stop being about Fred and morph into his mother. For the life of me, I can't remember any of the parents' names. Anyway, while the hallucinations are still Fred-based, a few of them either get paired with a joke or even have a joke inside them, which will often ruin the mood.
You killed my mom. She was the bomb.
After the hallucinations morph into Fred's mother, Norville eventually fixes them, but she doesn't fade away. Turns out she was a ghost haunting Norville, and he accidentally gaslit her into believing she was a hallucination, which raises many questions. Were the Fred hallucinations real, or was she morphing into him? How does a ghost not realize she's real? How does she believe she's part of someone's imagination? I can't believe I'm thinking this much about it, but the Velma world building is just really stupid and upsets me. Anyway, her ghost tries to possess Fred, and when he rejects her, she moves on because it's a sign he's becoming a man or something. I mean, if I wrote these ideas down on paper, they do sound kinda cool. It's just the way they're executed in this show really drags them down. I mean, I guess poor execution is better than if they built this cool idea up and then dragged it down. But yeah, back to the world building. The girls who were killed in the last season and have their brains in jars, I forgot to mention that in the season 1 segment, but all of it happened because of Norville's grandma, Edna Perdue, weird name. It's revealed she's still alive, and while not a show-breaking twist or anything, it still came out of nowhere. I say it like the show's not broken anyway, but come on, just set things up. It's stupid to have twists come out of nowhere. It's lazy writing, and maybe if they actually put effort into what they were trying to write, people might actually enjoy it a little. All the side characters are annoying. There's some weird British teacher whose personality is being British and having a big butt. He very quickly dies, thank God. Amber, who is like a goth witch, and then their mother, Thorn, one of the old Hex girls. I kinda like the idea of older Hex girls who didn't age well and still dressed like they did, but I think they'd still be in their band and popular. This season was all over the place. There wasn't really even a hook either this time. They may have completely ruined it, but the hook is what made me continue watching season 1. I only wanted to watch season 2 because someone told me how it ended, and I kinda wanted to see how they got there, and then also I'd be able to make a video on it. Which, spoilers, Scrappy kills Velma, and then her ghost kills him. Aside from the obvious Scrappy killed Velma and saved the show joke everyone's been making, I actually thought Scrappy was one of the only good characters. There's still just a bunch of weird world building that really doesn't help the twist, like Velma's stepmother being Uncle Scooby. This is less a rip the rug out from under them kind of twist, because I didn't really care about this character, but the twist still doesn't work. Once again, coming down to them putting no effort into writing this twist, it just came out of thin air when they wanted it to. They also do Velma and Daphne's relationship, but they doubt each other every step of the way due to different beliefs, and one of them believing the other will have or is going to cheat, and I just really don't care.
We're soulmates.
Soulmates? Daphne, that term was invented by the publishing industry to sell books about vampires boning werewolves.
So, Season 2 I think overall handled the characters a little better, did a good job at partially dropping things that people didn't like. Problem is, the alternatives also suck. These are just problems people were less vocal about. Or when they were pointed to, there were specific examples like the shower scene. It really sucks because I think an adult Scooby-Doo series could work. A lot of adult animation thinks to appeal to adults it has to be all sex and drugs, which is absolutely not true. Look at shows like The Simpsons and Central Park. They'll certainly have drug themes sometimes, but it's rare for someone to just be saying, "Wow, I took so many pills, look how high I am, isn't that so funny?" It is weird to see these characters being semi-nice to each other, but then saying something like, "Oops, I was trying to stop you from stepping on all the perverted items on the ground." While overall I'd say Season 2 is an improvement, it's still not good, and it had a hard time holding my attention because nothing really hooked me in, and they doubled down on the sex jokes.
I didn't want you stepping on all the broken glass and used condoms out here.
Everyone is having a good chuckle because Velma is probably ending, and it's got such a stupid cliffhanger where Velma is dead. Although in doing research for this video, I found out there's actually going to be a Velma Halloween special, probably releasing in October. Amber said they might be able to bring Velma back on Halloween, so that's probably going to be the plot of it. It was kind of obvious anyway because of the cliffhanger. But that makes me think Velma dying was kind of always the plan because the Halloween special was announced with the original order. But I'm ready for everyone to blame hate watching again because, even though Season 2 was announced before Season 1 even started airing, same with this new Halloween special, as soon as Season 2 was announced to be in production, everyone was like, "Oh my god, hate watching, you people did this." It was just always coming. Looking through the original announcement articles, it seems the special is probably the last thing in this original order, so maybe this'll finally be the end, and this show will finally disappear and we'll go on to the next reboot, which might be a bit better. But I guess let me know if you want me to make a video on that special when it comes out, because watching Season 2 was a mistake. But yeah, once again, you guys should sound off in the comments and like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.